What's up, family? Welcome to Ask Them Odds,
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This right here is my incredible wife, Fiona.
And this right here, this is my fantastic husband, Ayize.
You pause right there.
Yeah, I had to think for a second. I wasn't quite ready. All right, y'all, we're going to get it started. We had a question to come in, and as usual, we're going to read it to you. I'm pulling it up right now. Here we go. Hi. First of all, I've watched and read a lot of the information you provide on your websites and Facebook, and I find it so helpful. Thanks for all you're doing. You're welcome. I'm in a relationship that I've been in for over 15 years. We have an 11-year-old daughter together. I'm embarrassed to say this, but we're not married. Don't be embarrassed, sis. Don't be embarrassed. We talked about getting married, but neither one of us has taken any serious measures to pursue marriage. He has not put a ring on it. All he tells me is, I've never acted like I want to be married. There's been a lot of hurt on both our parts in the relationship, but also a lot of good has come out of it as well, having our daughter together and raising her. When I say there's been a lot of hurt, I mean he's cheated and so have I. He's never acknowledged what he has done. Whoa. He's never acknowledged what he has done. Interesting.
What if he didn't do that?
Anyway, so I have some resentment and distrust towards him still. Whenever there is an issue that needs to be confronted and discussed, he shuts down. He walks away. He says he doesn't want to talk about it. This is very frustrating. I hear you. I tell him if we were to get married, there are going to be issues sometimes, and it's not going to always be perfect. He needs to be open and honest with me. There are a lot of things I didn't put my foot down about, and I've let him get away with. I do admit that sometimes I can be hard to talk to, and I don't always listen to him. Well, you want somebody to talk to you, but you don't listen. Can't have it both ways. Sometimes I feel like if we hadn't gotten married by now, why even bother and just go our separate ways? But I want to show our daughter how a loving relationship should be and be a good example for her. There's a big age difference between us also. He's 58 and I'm 41. I've stayed with him this long because I do love him, and in spite of everything we've been through, he's always been a good listener, good motivator. He's not jealous and supports and pushes me to pursue all my dreams. Wow, that's very good. Me, on the other hand, I'm not as supportive. I'm nagging. I throw the past back up in his face. So he shuts down, and sometimes we don't talk for days. Another big issue, we ended up losing our condo, and financially did not prepare for it and had nothing to fall back on. So now he's staying with his mom. Me and our daughter are with my mom. I'm not working, looking for a job, and he's receiving retirement right now. And we're trying to save what we can from that to be able to put a down payment down on a place until I find another steady job. Our ultimate goal is to start some internet marketing business together. I'm thankful for my mom, but there's nothing like having your own. I beat myself up a lot for not preparing before we left our other place, but I only see this God wanting us to work on some things before we move in together again. I really don't even want to move back in with him if we're not married. But I'm also concerned because being split like this makes it easier to cheat again. On his part, I'm not interested in that right now. My focus is getting back. Oh, I'm sorry. So, y'all, I'm reading the best I can, but I guess she's saying it makes it easier for him to cheat again on his part. She's not interested in that right now. She's focused on getting back on her feet, being able to provide the best for their child. She says she's concerned because we don't go out as much, and she says they're not as intimate and affectionate with one another. He says he feels this transition has brought them closer, but she says she doesn't feel that way. She often thinks about being split up. I'm sorry. Jeez. She often thinks about being...
What's the problem?
She says she often thinks about the fact that they're not together day by day, that this will cause him to freely talk with other women and seek affection elsewhere because they're not together often. She's just not sure which direction she should go right now. She's very frustrated. She places a lot of the blame on him, but she knows that just as much of the blame goes to her as well. She says any advice you can give, any advice that we can give would be greatly appreciated. That was a lot.
It really was.
That was one of the longest letters we ever got. I'm just playing.
Nah, it's actually not. We haven't read some of the
Yeah, some
super
of them will
long
be like,
letters.
you need to hit us up for counseling.
I mean, that's really how I feel about this particular letter.
Do you?
I really do. Because, I mean, there's so many issues.
It's a lot of variables.
Yeah, so many issues that are just like littered throughout this particular email that, it would be difficult to address them in a 5-minute window. But what I'll do is I'll just actually enumerate some of those issues. One thing that I notice is that, when you all talk about this issue with communication and how, you say that you're a nag and he shuts down. I mean, that right there is, that's an act of stonewalling. And, sometimes we use stonewalling to manipulate the situation and get ultimately what it is that we want, which is for you to leave us alone. Mm-hmm. So we get quiet, and we get quiet because we feel as if we get quiet, then it'll shut you out and you'll get the signal, you'll get the message that, we're really not wanting you to, bother us. So just beat it, leave us alone. So, and then ultimately you might actually acquiesce and give us what we want in that moment. So, that's one thing that I'm noticing in this email. And additionally, what I noticed too is that when you all lost your condo, you all made a conscious decision to move in with, each one of you all's parents. Mm-hmm. And I guess my question would be, why evacuate? Why abandon so quickly? Not necessarily the union, but making the decision to move in together. Of course, it won't be into your own place that you own, but you all could have possibly, I'm assuming, rented somewhere. And why not make that decision?
They lost. Somebody lost a job or something. They don't have the money. That's the whole reason that they moved out.
Or why not move into together? Both of you all move into one of your parents' house versus you all going to your own separate places.
Well, I think that speaks to a greater issue. I'm sorry, so I say this one little thing real quick, which is the fact that oftentimes how people roll, what your inclinations are in your relationship, they say so much, they tell us so much. If you have separate accounts and everything is separate and y'all borrow money from each other like you would borrow money from a friend, that tells us something. The fact that you all both went separate ways, yes, you're not married, but there are many people who we know who are in relationship, who we have counseled, and they are much more married than some married folks, just in terms of how they do things. And so the fact that you guys didn't do that says to me that there is a lot of separation between the two of you. She's already talked about that. You talked about the fact that you basically don't trust him. The fact that you all are not together day by day now. You wonder if he's going to be with some other woman. I mean, there's just a whole lot of issues that are going on here. And I would say to really help you to prioritize where you should be going right now, what you should be doing, let's focus on first things first. First things first. We always bring people back to what is the foundation? What is the foundation of your relationship? What are you standing on? Your foundation is cracked. Your foundation is not clear. You say that sometimes you just wonder if you all should not be together. But then on the other hand, you want to be together and set a good example for your child. Why? Just because you want to set a good example, or because you love him and you really want to be together? There seems to be no clarity there. You've got to re-examine the foundation and decide, make a decision. We talk a lot about making a decision. And you need to make a decision as to whether or not this is a relationship you want to pursue. And the way your letter reads, it reads as if you are constantly moving from one side to the other. You're not in any one clear place about what y'all are, who y'all are to each other, and what y'all are doing. And you cannot build anything, sis. You cannot build anything when you are not clear about what the foundation is. Where are you going? Is the goal to be together? Is the goal to not really be together, but just to raise your child together? Is the goal to be friends? Is the goal to be more? Answer that question first. I would think that it would be helpful for you to answer that on your own, and then actually take some time. Say, look, can we get together? Come from your mama's house, I'm gonna come from my mama's house. Let's meet each other halfway at the restaurant. And let's sit down and let's talk about where is it that we're going? What is it that we're doing? You can't be talking about building internet marketing businesses. You can't be talking about coming together and doing this over here and that over there if you have not talked about your relationship. And I think it deserves to be talked about. And the first thing you have to do, again, is examine the foundation. What is it that we are building? Who are we to each other? What are we trying to do? And then that will inform you as to where you need to go next. Last but not least, don't forget the little one. Don't forget the child
and what you're
between the two of you.
You're concerned about representing the right relationship for her, but what are you representing right now? Really ask yourself that question.
That's right. That's right. So be genuine and be true to yourself. Ask yourself the questions about your relationship before you come together with your kind of sort of man, and make sure that you get the answers that you need for yourself, because you don't just want to be with him so that it's a good example for your child. You want to be good with him, and if you cannot be good with him, then that leaves you somewhere else. Maybe y'all don't need to be together. Get that answered. Make a decision. At the end of the day, honey, you gotta stop playing and start pushing.